Learn by clipping things that you find out that the science and the technology continue to advance with hormone treatment, with radiation, salvage radiation, so many other things. You can learn that very rapidly. But quite honestly, we also understand, and what Dr. Shaturn and what the whole AdMeTech advocacy is about, is to be able to get into that prostate and isolate that cancer without having to have some very degenerative side effects, particularly incontinence or impotence or other things. Those are challenges. And you learn, remember that half hour about learning about prostate cancer. That's all it takes, is that most people that get prostate cancer die with it. They don't die from it. But the diagnosis, quite honestly, because PSA, prostate-specific antigen issues, are not necessarily fail-safe. And people that say, I got it, I'm going after it. But not everybody that's got it has to go after it. And you can learn that. But the technology that we're trying to advocate, and Senate President Murray was right again, that this is not, cancer is cancer. It is not a men's issue or a women's issue, it's an our issue. And if federal cutbacks in the National Institute of Health in Washington and research and development, and that's where the big money, because when it comes to going after that terrible disease in so many capacities, it requires the big bucks. We try to do some of the bucks here, and Representative Kulik will mention a few of them, but it's the big bucks of the National Institute of Health. We lost our greatest champion for the NIH in Edward M. Kennedy several years ago. So if we all make a lot of noise and we fight and we advocate, I remember that one of the most moving cards I got after I had my operation was from John Kerry, because we both had our operation on the same day, 9 years apart. His was at Johns Hopkins University and mine was at the University of Massachusetts Medical Center. So we are brothers, and Steve Kulik and I, and Kenny Donnelly, who's stuck in traffic, we're brothers in this regard. For guys, for you guys out here, or for you who love a guy, if they're over 40 years old, tell them to check yourself out. Make sure you don't. For people of color, get it right and do it, because this disease knocks on your door, whether you're as wealthy as John Kerry or as wealthy as Steve Brewer, quite honestly. It is the way it happens in life. But you can win this with early detection, and you can recover, and you can come back 3.5 years after your surgery and help write a budget and work very hard, or sleep on the couch at Senate Ways and Means last night, or any of these other things. Take inspiration. It is scary as hell, but it's a livable issue that we can win. Senator Fargo is here, who is a hero to all of us. You have battled these diseases and triumphed, quite honestly. We'll face it head on. So, yeah. And as so many other people have said, Dr. Shaturn, we legislators come into this hall a lot during the year, a lot of times. You really know how to put on an effort. And later on, Representative Kulik will show you the names of the legislators that have signed on. I had an intern that spent 2 full days going through this building getting signatures of showing that the House and the Senate stand as one. Democrats and Republicans, liberals and conservatives, and the governor, who issues a proclamation today designating that this is Prostate Cancer Awareness Day, Deval Patrick. And so I present this to you, bring this back, hold this, and let them know that we're all together on this issue.
Very nice job, Senator. Thank you very much for sharing. Impressive. And now it's my privilege and honor to introduce Representative Steve Kulik.
Thank you, David, very much, and good morning, everyone. This is a great gathering, and it's been a pleasure to watch this event become an annual one at the State House and to see it grow, move from one end of the State House to the other over the last few years, starting in Nurses Hall, and last year we were out at the Grand Staircase, and now here we are in the Great Hall. I'm not sure if there's any room further that way, but this is a great day to have it here. As has been mentioned by previous speakers, it seems so appropriate that we're here on the same day that the Supreme Court has ruled on the Affordable Care Act. And I know Dr. Stern has many connections in Washington. Perhaps she had done something to arrange that, figure out what the decision was going to be and what the timing should be. I don't know, but thank you for all the work that you do, and thank you for all the work that each of you does in this field. I think the words that have been mentioned most frequently this morning are education, awareness, and advocacy, and they certainly are the hallmarks of this movement to raise awareness of prostate cancer, of early detection, of how it can be successfully treated. And I think back 10 years ago when I was diagnosed and treated, and the world has moved so far in those 10 years that it's kind of scary for me, and I know it can be frustrating for many of us who are diagnosed with prostate cancer and go through this period of figuring out how serious it is and what the uncertainties are and the many treatment options. And it's very frustrating to read the news of the advancements in the field since then, in my case 10 years ago, because we wondered, did we make the right decision in our course of treatment? Should we have handled this somewhat differently? One will never know, but I'm hopeful that because of the work that the AdMeTech Foundation and others are doing, all of the great researchers here in the city of Boston and Massachusetts, that level of uncertainty and second guessing that many of us feel will be a thing of the past someday. That with certainty in early detection, with precision in the types of scientific detection and analysis that's being researched right now, that men will no longer feel that level of uncertainty, and their families won't have to go through that as well. So this work is extremely important, but just as important until we get to that day, supported by the great research that's going on. We need to continue the advocacy, the talking, those of us who have been through this, share our experiences, help others who are facing the same disease, the same diagnosis, and have them go out. It's a spreading army. You know, 10 years ago, very few men would talk about this. Now it seems like I get calls regularly from people who know me. I'm sure my colleagues are the same way, who know of my experience, and it's up to us all to share our experiences, to provide some counseling, some advice, and help people make the right decision about how to confront this illness. So I thank you all for the work that you do. I thank Dr. Stern especially for the work she's doing. And I'd like to present you, as you received from Senator Brewer, a proclamation from the governor. I would like to present you with a resolution jointly from the House and Senate. It is many pages long, and it recognizes the AdMeTech Foundation as the host of the 4th Annual Prostate Cancer Awareness Day at the Massachusetts State House, and it's signed by well over 100 legislators, bipartisan, both the House and Senate. This we've done in the past as well. We've never had a response like we did this year. It's growing all the time, and it's due to the advocacy that all of you provide. So thank you very much. I'm pleased to present this to you. I see Senator Donnelly. Yes, very much.
It's kind of the Three Musketeers of Prostate Awareness Day. Senator Donnelly is going to come up now and share his words, his thoughts. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you. I apologize, I'm a little late. I was stuck in traffic, but the good news is I was getting my checkup. It's 3 years now that I'm cancer-free and a zero PSA, so thank you. First, I'd like to thank all of you for being here and coming out and supporting this important cause. I'd like to thank Dr. Stern and the AdMeTech Foundation for organizing today's prostate cancer awareness event, which is now in its 4th year here at the State House. Thank you to my co-chairs of today's event, Senator Stephen Brewer, Representative Stephen Kulik, and finally, thank you to the Senate President Therese Murray and Speaker DeLeo for helping us bring attention to the public health crisis that is prostate cancer. As I said, I was shocked 3 years ago, and when I went for my checkup, and they actually had done my PSA, and the PSA hadn't really risen. It was like around 1. And my doctor gave me a digital exam and said she thinks there's something wrong there, and requested, at least asked me to go to to have a follow-up. On my follow-up, they did a digital, and the doctor said that maybe what we should do is I should have more testing. And when I got the biopsy, I found that I had cancer. So sometimes you can't tell by just PSAs, but it was really, when someone says those dreaded words, it's devastating. But as a result, I had the treatment done. I had my prostate removed, and as I said, I've been cancer-free. I'm lucky. It was early, good doctor, early diagnosis. Some are not so lucky. So it's so important what we do, and especially making sure that people get their tests, making sure people get their checks, and understanding that maybe the diagnosis is not all, PSA is not always a good indication. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support, and I'm so glad to be here today and cancer-free. Thank you.
And senators and representatives, being a public person, I know it's not easy always to share your personal stories, to open up your life in such a, at times raw and at times personal level. But obviously it goes far. Your words have meaning and they have weight. And by sharing your stories and letting us know how you're doing today, I'm grateful to be here. So thank you. This is a state issue. It's a national issue. It's also a city issue. So now it's my privilege and honor to introduce to you Senate President Stephen Murphy. Council, yes, yes. Oh, yes. Council, thank you.
Thank you for the promotion, David. It's just between us. Thanks, everybody. It is an honor to be here. Boston is a big city, a capital city, but it's a very small town. And the members of the City Council who are here, I'd like to introduce them. Councilor Felix Arroyo is with us. Councilor Rob Consalvo is with us. Councilor Tito Jackson is with us. We're all a family, and we don't do things easy down the hill there a little bit, but we're all fans of Dr. Faina Stern and her groundbreaking work, and to hear the personal stories of Senator Donnelly and Representative Kulik and Senator Brewer just goes to the heart of the matter. It's life and death, and it's early detection that's the key. And her groundbreaking work and AdMeTech's groundbreaking work on minimally non-invasive imaging to detect at its earliest stages this very, very deadly disease is making a difference for all of us. So for the members of the City Council, and we're fans of hers, fans of her proud mother and father, Mr. and Mrs. Nark Vaisaki have joined us. Let's give them a round of applause. Honored to be here, and honored to work with our colleagues at the state level, in the state Senate, and in the state House of Representatives, and our colleagues at the federal level, to